Yo, 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 another guitar lesson here for you guys. This one's a little more advanced. Basically, what you need to know is you need to know your triads, or, maybe if you want to conceptualize this lesson, maybe you're not that great with your triads, but just want to kind of see what's, next for you and why you would want to learn your triads. This is a really good kind of example. I've just been working with improvisation and jamming and just how to see certain things. So I'm going to show you we're just going to use C major. I've been using that for a while, just a good starting point. Instead of playing that C major chord, that triad over a C major, or even the pentatonic scale, I'm going to play a D major triad over that chord. Now the D major triad is going to give me the 2, the sharp 4, and the 6. Okay, or you could think of it sharp 11. So it's going to give us this Lydian sound. So by just playing the D triad over a C major chord, it's going to give us C Lydian sound. I'm going to demonstrate that with you real quick here. I got just a little loop here of the C major. So there's that sharp 11. Okay. So that's pretty hip right there. That's some pretty cool stuff. Now, if you were just going to play that, and, years ago, if I was just going to play that, I would probably just think it was wrong. Like, oh, well, D isn't C. I need to play the C major triad. That's going to harmonize better. But in reality, all these triads are going to harmonize in some way. It's just up to you to decide if you like it or not. So this is kind of part of, I think, what we all kind of crave when we're playing and learning guitar. We're trying to find certain sounds that we've heard, maybe just from growing up listening to old records or whatever, or just some current guitar players or piano players or musicians that just seem to always find these really sweet notes, and they don't seem to be in the major scale or the pentatonic scales. And this is kind of a way to do that. You can actually use a pentatonic scale over this C. So if I add on to that D triad, because it's kind of hard to play with just a triad, but if I add 2 more notes and give that D major pentatonic triad, scale. So now I'm thinking, instead of just the triad, the pentatonic scale, now we're going to have the 9, the 3, the sharp 4 still, the 6, and we're going to add the 7 in there. So we're going to get this really nice kind of like, this is super, it's definitely Lydian here all day, but I can just play D major pentatonic. So I'll show you what that sounds like. Here's the D major pentatonic scale. I'll just play it. If you're more familiar with the B minor shape, B minor pentatonic and D major are relatives. So this gives us this kind of mysterious vibe. The Lydian, it kind of gives that to me. That's what I hear anyway. So now let's do it one step further here. Let's play, I'm going to do the D triad, the D major triad, so just D, F sharp, and A, and then I'm going to do C, E, and G, the C triad for when I want to resolve my lines, okay? There's the resolution there. There's the resolution. So we got D, and then C, D, C, D, C. Now if I just kind of see them and go back and forth, you get lines like that, which are way more kind of thought out lines, because again, you have to know your triads, you have to like do some study, put the work in. And if you're going to tell a guitar player, you know, an average guitar player to play like that just knows some pentatonic scales and major scales, they're going to just be kind of at a loss. Why are you playing those notes like that? What is going on? And the thing is the triads, it's harder to play just triads because there's only 3 notes. And this is a weird thing about the guitar. It's a funny thing, because if you think about it, if it's only 3 notes, singers, horn players, it's like, that's actually easy to play. Just play 3 notes and just kind of up and down in different octaves. It's not that complicated. Same with piano. It's like, well, this is just, here they are. The reason it's tricky on guitar, why is it hard on guitar? What do you think? The main reason is because you got to constantly skip strings because the notes are spread out a little bit further. So it's actually physically harder to play because we're constantly changing strings. Also, if you see how far apart the notes are, especially from 5 to 1, right? And so, yeah, it's a little harder. It's a lot harder to play because when most of us learn 2 notes per string pentatonic scale, that is much easier to play than. So put some time in on that. Little side tangent there, but. So now I was doing the triad stuff. So I had a Goki boy. Hey, Goki boy. Doing the triad stuff with the D and the C, kind of going back and forth. You can do the same thing with the with the pentatonic scales. You can play D major pentatonic to get that Lydian sound, and then fall back into the C pentatonic to get the resolution. So let's check that out. There's that C. C, D, C. So I'll start with D here. Then C. Anyway, I could do this kind of all day. I'm just kind of trying to get the point across. Is instead of thinking, you know, we get these jazz chords and these upper extensions like Lydian, well, there's a sharp 4 and you got to have this and you got to have that. If you know what that is in relationship to the chord, in other words, anytime you're playing a major chord, if you just go up a whole step to the next major chord and play that over it, you're going to get that sharp 4. You're going to get that Lydian sound. So this is just other ways of looking at it. It's really a way to kind of compartmentalize everything. And it seems like this is how a lot of the more advanced musicians think about things, because it's easier to think about it in that way. It's just like, well, I know what a D major triad is. I've been playing that for years. Play it over a C when someone else is playing a C, it gives you X, Y, and Z. It gives you the Lydian sound. Or if I was going to play a different chord over it, it would give me a different sound. So anyway, I hope this some of this is landing for you. And if you guys like to nerd out on the theory stuff, I do have some openings. I'm teaching weekly lessons out of my home. I do it over Zoom if you're not in the Kansas City area. So hit me up if you want some lessons. Peace.